University of Phoenix is transfer friendly.
Hey guys, what's up? So today we are going to be talking about all the nonsense going on. First things first, we have Mr. Devin Haney on the docket. He is apparently seeking to sue to have his loss turned into a DQ, citing several issues, the 2 failed PED tests and purposely missing weight, as well as Ryan's illegal IV usage. So it says here, Devin Haney is seeking to have the New York State Athletic Commission change Ryan Garcia's majority decision win against him to a disqualification loss, as it is allowed to do, rather than a no contest. Haney's attorney, Patrick English, sent the commission a 9-page letter on Monday citing extreme circumstances why Garcia should be disqualified for reasons beyond just that. Garcia tested positive for the banned performance-enhancing drug ostarine in his urine on a test on April 19th, and again post-fight sample given following the April 20th pay-per-view main event at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. English cited in a letter not only Garcia's 2 failed tests, but also his use of an illegal IV bag prior to the fight, and his admission that he purposely missed the 140-pound weight limit by 3.2 pounds to give him an unfair advantage. Although by being overweight, he's ineligible to win Haney's WBC junior lightweight title. It is in my experience that sometimes the PED situations, some commissions forget that there are 2 fighters in the ring and there are 2 fighters with rights, English wrote in the letter, a copy which was obtained by Dan Raphael. This is not a matter involving Ryan Garcia alone. There is a blemish on Mr. Haney's record. He was placed in an unsafe fight under New York State Athletic Commission jurisdiction. The bout was made a mockery, and in addition to the PED use and prohibited use of IVs, after the bout, Mr. Garcia admitted missing weight was a tactic to give him an unfair advantage. Now, I have to stop and say something here. The unfair advantage, the weight thing, I don't think they're supposed to be fighting at 140. They clearly both walk around much heavier than 140. They drain down to lower weights to have an advantage. And this is not a diss on Haney's part. He doesn't carry a lot of power himself. So fighting, like, could he fight Canelo? Like, he is a big guy. Like, he could be fighting at 160, 168. Could he fight Jermall Charlo? Could he be successful at 160? I don't think so. So the unfair advantage, I mean, you have an unfair advantage fighting all the other well, a lot of them are draining down to 140. But isn't your weight, just follow me, guys. Isn't his weight an unfair advantage to him as well? I just feel. Sorry about that, guys. And boxing fan, I kind of agree with you, but here's the thing. Devin went through the whole process of making the 140 pounds as they were contracted. So he drained all the way down. He went through the whole weight cutting process, whereas Ryan did not. So it's not even about the 3 pounds. And then he didn't even try to. So it's like you were at 100 the whole time, whereas Devin is coming back up. Like, he has to rehydrate. So, I mean, it is an unfair advantage, even though it was only 3 pounds. That's my thing. But let's continue here. I probably should put these outside. All right. So it says, the bout was made a mockery in addition to the PED use and the prohibited use of IVs after Garcia admitted to missing weight was a tactic to give him an unfair advantage. And there was no second day weigh-in required by the commission. Thus, it is impossible to know what he weighed on fight night. This is why, after setting forth the facts below, we request that Mr. Garcia be disqualified, which is more fitting than a no contest in this situation. English cited the example of the 2016 WBC super middleweight fight in Washington, D.C., where the title holder Badu Jack and Lucien Boutte fought to a draw, but where Boutte tested positive for ostarine, the Washington Commission changed the result to disqualification loss for Boutte rather than a victory for Jack. You may wish to note that this is what was done with Lucien Boutte when he tested positive for PEDs, and it is the standard in all Olympic sports, so it is not at all without precedent, English wrote. Garcia knocked Haney 31-1, 15 KOs for now, 25 of Las Vegas down with left hooks in the 7th, 10th, and 11th round, and won a majority decision, 115-109, 114-110, and 112 draw. Both fighters agreed to be randomly tested by VADA, leading up to their highly anticipated fight. Haney completed the program without issue, but Garcia failed a test the day before the fight and the post-fight test for ostarine, which has been on the World Anti-Doping Agency ban list since 2008, and in 2002 was officially listed by WADA as an anabolic agent. It is used to assist athletic performance by helping build muscle, burn fat, increase stamina, and give the athlete the ability to recover quickly from strenuous work. Garcia has requested that his B sample be tested. Usually the B sample results are the same as the A sample, but Garcia's B sample is scheduled to be opened on May 22nd. He's allowed to have a representative present, observe the opening, and the results should be known within a few days. My thing is, with the results, how come, so if they can know these within a few days, what is the fix for this? Because what is even the point of testing if we're not going to know what the results are prior to the fight? I think maybe they could test every day leading up to the fight. That would be the only way to prevent somebody from doping. And by the way, regardless of all what levels Garcia was taking, the 0.6 blah 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 1 billionth of I don't care. It should have been 0. And I think he's guilty. And I think he was doping all along. I don't think this is his first time doing it. These are just my suspicions. It's very, very hard for me to believe that all these professional athletes are just being poisoned by supplements. And the thing is, it's like, okay, so you got poisoned by this supplement company. Why wouldn't you sue the company? And then 2, what bottles are being poisoned? Because I need some of these supplements. I'm not even gonna lie. I need some of these supplements. I don't like working out in the gym. I want an unfair advantage. I want abs this summer. You guys let me know what supplements have the juice in them, because I need the juice. I want to be on the clear. I want EPO. I need it in my system. 60 times more than what is acceptable, but it doesn't appear naturally in the body, so the acceptable amount is 0. Exactly, boxing fan. You're 100% correct. I think Ryan is a dirty cheater. Nobody can convince me otherwise. I think the B sample is going to be exactly the same results, and I don't think he's going to be punished. He might get a 6-month suspension, if anything, and then if they backdate it to April, May, June, July, August, September, October, he probably wasn't going to fight again. He'll fight at the top of the year, which he was probably going to do anyway. I mean, so what? I mean, what's the big deal as far as the suspension goes? I just think it's a very flawed system. But anyway, let's continue. Unless the New York Commission changes its mind, Garcia will not be provisionally suspended or have a hearing scheduled until after the B sample results are returned, a source with knowledge of plans told Dan Refio. Okay, so here's the thing with the B sample. I don't know why these athletes, I don't even know what the purpose is. Like, if you know that you cheated, and I think they know that they cheated, like, what's the purpose of testing the B sample? It's the same sample. And if you're being set up, like if I was setting somebody up, I would just taint both samples. Like, I'm not going to taint the A sample and forget about like tainting the B sample, because that's the first thing they say, test the B sample. And it's the same thing. Like, I used to be in the military and they would drug test us. So I'm a woman, so I was born that way. I don't know what they do for guys, but you go in, you have 2 cups. You go in, you wash your hands with water, you take your clothes off, or you take your pants down, you pee in front of the person, you take it out of the cup that you peed in, and then you pour it into the other cup, right? And then you seal that up. Well, you just close it, and then you walk with it and over your head out to like the proctor's desk or whatever. So then you take it, you pour that 1 cup into 2 A and B sample. They seal it. They write numbers on it. They have, well, you're doing all this. You seal it. You take these labels with just numbers on it. It doesn't even have your name on it. And then you put the number on it over the seal, and you put it on this one over the seal. And then you take another sticker and put it on a bag, and another sticker and put it on the other bag. You put those 2 peas in there. You close them. They do whatever with them. Now, if they were going to poison, they would poison both of them. Like, so I don't understand and it's the same like stream, like you just pee into the cup and whatever's there is there. So it's not like the B sample is anything different. If you took Tylenol is going to be in both of those samples. You took weed is going to be in both of those samples. And I just don't understand, like, why can't they say, you know what, guys, I fucking did it. I did it. Like, nobody could ever admit to, like, just cheat. Like, you cheated. Like, just say it. Like, I fucked up, guys. Like, it would be more like convincing if Ryan would just like come out and just like be crying and like, I'm so sorry. This was a big fight. I just lost a tank. I didn't want to lose again. Like, I would be more on his side. I mean, I wouldn't, because he's a cheater, but like, I would have more empathy for him if he would do that. So he passed during camp, but the thing is, well, see, I don't like to get technical. Like, if you're cycling, they, like, you know how to cycle. And if he was taking Ostarine, the Ostarine is like out of your system in a day. Like, even his numbers, it was like 6, and then it was like 0.35 the next day. So it's like out of your system in a day. So he could have just been taking it off and on. Somebody said, I don't know, because I don't use Ostarine. I don't use any performance enhancing drugs, but they said weed masked it, and he was allegedly smoking weed. I don't know what was in those cigarettes, those recreational cigarettes that he had, was posting on social media. So, you know, I just don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. So this is what happened. The New York State Athletic Commission, they were supposed to also conduct a test. They did not do that. They left it in VADA's hands to do the testing. So they have a failure on their part So they basically forced that lady to, well, I don't say forced. I don't know what the ins and outs were, but I don't think they were expecting Ryan to come back dirty. So like none of this was supposed to happen. None of this went to plan. So basically what I read was they kind of like forced her to step aside because she was over the fight and they didn't do their job, if that makes sense. I mean, they need to do Olympic style testing because that seems to be the only testing that works. I mean, if they're like, really, what is the point of testing if you're going to test the day before? You're not getting the results back for weeks, and people are going in there fighting dirty. With this, with Ryan, as far as Devin trying to get this thing turned over, I'm on his side, but I don't think it's the best thing for him to do. I feel like he's going in, well, not quite the same, but he's kind of going into that Wilder territory where he doesn't want to accept the loss. I mean, I feel like Wilder's excuses were just BS. They were, I mean, no testing is foolproof, but I mean, I feel like it's a little bit more um a little more stringent than, definitely more than what is going on. I don't think Ryan. I don't think Devin should try to get the O turned over because I feel like the way back after a bad loss, you could really turn yourself into something else. Like look at what AJ is doing and look how he's looking and how his confidence is now. Like you have to accept that loss in order to grow from it. Like nobody, nothing, even if Ryan didn't cheat, nothing could make us like not see what we saw. He got the beats put on him. Like he got hands and feet put on him that night. And that was not what he was expecting. That was not what I was expecting. Um, in order to get over, like to really grow from it, he has to accept the loss. Like when his family, like when he had that party after and they were saying, and still, like on a technicality and still, but is it really and still if you got beat like that? Like it's not like he just like it was like super, well, actually it was competitive, but what sticks out in the public's mind is going to be him on that canvas. He got dropped in the first round. Dropped in the first round. Like I don't think he's ever been down before. I don't think so. Not that I can remember. Um, that nothing is going to take that out of, like Ryan could have tested for nandrolone, EPO, Ostarine, like every banned substance, like weed, alcohol, coke, everything could have been in his system, and nothing could take that. Like nothing will take that out of our minds. Like we can't unsee what we saw, and I think he really does have to. He didn't, Nick. He did not get. I thought he got dropped like in the first few seconds of the fight. Am I tripping? I don't want to see it again. That was a, oh gosh. I'm triggered. I'm triggered. I'm triggered, y'all. I don't want to see it again. But like, okay, he just got hurt. Okay. Two things can be true simultaneously. Devin didn't have a good game plan, but Ryan was dirty. Ryan was dirty. He was overweight. And it was his plan to have all the advantages. And I don't blame him because they should have contracted that he have a catch weight. Because honestly, everybody got on Tank for it. But nobody wants to fight this freaking super middleweight. Ryan has not made 140 probably in since I don't know when. Well, since Tank, because Tank made him do it. Like it was contracted. He had a contracted weight, like he couldn't go back up. But um, he needs to be boiled down. If you're gonna fight Ryan, it needs to be in the contract that he has to make weight. And I think that was the Haney's first mistake. But I feel like it would benefit Devin a whole lot more if he would take the loss in stride. I don't want to say he's not taking it in stride because he's handling himself very well. I just have two minds about this. Like like I feel like him working his way back would be more beneficial for him than like not accepting it or getting the loss overturned. Leave it there. Leave it there. We all know Ryan's dirty. I don't think that B sample is going to say anything different than what the A sample said. Um, and as far as like the nandrolone, okay, so it got thrown out, but the same that threw out the nandrolone, he popped for the ostarine. So I mean, you can't say it was bad testing. Throw him in jail. I do think he needs to be banned for like a 2-year ban would be good for like 2 years is good because I feel like he's like if it's just like 6 months or maybe even 1 year, it's May already. Like him having a layoff for till April of next year, that's not really a punishment. It has to be 2+ years. All right, let's continue with this letter. In addition to ostarine being present in Garcia's April 19th and 20 urine samples, okay, so it was urine. Garcia sample on the 19th also screened positive, but was not confirmed for nandrolone pending IRMS, isotope ratio mass spectrometry. That more in-depth test was conducted and Ryan was cleared of being positive for the banned substance. Ryan Garcia has repeatedly denied knowingly using any banned substance in numerous comments and social media posts. That's the thing. Ryan needs to be quiet because he is digging a hole for himself. And that video with his like friends behind him, he's like, oh, I don't even know how to cheat. Like he sounded like Ryan, like R. Kelly when he was like, I don't know how to hog tie. Why would I hog tie? Like, dude, it's a pill. You taking a pill, like you taking a Tylenol before, you taking a Motrin. Like, come, you know how to, like, it's not hard to take ostarine. Like, you cheated. We will have to see. The B sample is going to be same as the A sample. I mean, because even if if it's some conspiracy, like the people doing the conspiracy, like wouldn't they taint the B sample too? Like that's my thing. Like it's just like everything is not a conspiracy. Everything is not a conspiracy. Like sometimes the easiest answer is the correct answer. He cheated. I don't blame Dev. He knows he fought the wrong fight. He accepts that. But finding out Ryan did all that stuff, I'd react the same way through. See, like I'm of two minds about it. Like I think Ryan should be punished like to the max. Honestly, like I don't think you should even be able to fight again because it's like if you'll do this, what won't you do? And then like we just had that Sharif Lawal. RIP to him. He made his professional debut, and I'm not saying the other person was dirty, but imagine if he lost his life and the other guy's dirty. Like, the commission is going to be the least of your worries. If I'm his family, oh baby, it's going to be two caskets. It's going to be two caskets because, like, and just imagine, like, the damage that Devin took. Like, he's never taken damage like that in any other fight. Any other fight. So it's not just about the O. It's not about the suspension. Like, you've done damage to him that maybe not. We don't know because Ryan did turn up dirty. Could that have happened if he was clean? Because did he even drop Duarte? I have to remember, but I don't think he dropped Duarte. He didn't drop Tank. When was the last time we've seen him look that explosive? I mean, I'm not saying that it's because of the drugs, but now that we know they're there, we have to ask those questions. So the amount in Ryan's sample would not have given him super strength or more skills, but is that his first time? Like, I don't think when these tests come up positive that that's the very first time they took them. Because why would you be experimental with any drug right before a fight? Because you don't know how it's going to affect you. If you pop positive, you've taken it before, and you know how it's going to react. Because just what if, like, not even in a relation to testing, like pause, like increasing your strength or whatever. What if it just, like, you just have a bad reaction? Like, what if you're allergic to it? What if you break out in hives? You break out in hives on the 19th and you can't breathe and you have to go to the hospital and the fight is canceled. He's taken that drug before, like, allegedly. I believe he's taken that drug before. I don't think it's his first time. He's probably been doing it out of competition where he's not being tested, and you build up those benefits. If I take a drug the day before, unless it's like EPO, you're not going to get those instant results. But if you're taking it 6 months off cycle, you've built up that strength, and it doesn't go away just because you test 3 weeks. You were tested 3 weeks before the fight, and you tested negative, and you stopped taking it. Come on, guys, we gotta turn it on. We gotta turn it on because these cheaters they have to go. They have to go. Exactly, Meek. And he was using IV, so we'll never know what his levels were. Detective Meek is on the case. Devin didn't want to box anymore because knock it off, boxing fan. He did say he wanted to retire, but when you lose, that's one thing. But when you get the beats put on you like you've never had before, obviously that's going to affect your mental. So, I mean, I don't blame him, and we should dump on him for the loss because Ryan was dirty. Like, the samples came back dirty. So he can feel how he wants to feel. Like, you can't do somebody wrong and then tell them how upset they can be about how you did them wrong. He did. But now that Ryan has beat Devin, all of a sudden it's a conspiracy that Ryan is being set up in all this. Like, you see how two-faced that Tank is. He's a character. Well, the IV may not wash it out, but how is it metabolized is the thing. If it's water soluble, the IV would help. Well, the thing is, I don't think that he like I don't think this is his first time. So we really don't know what the effects are. Like saying obviously if he took it the 18th, it wouldn't help. But he was taking it before. Like we gotta be honest about what's going on here. Maybe he took it before and it showed up as so I don't even know if that's true. That billionth of a gram thing. Like we I need the white man paperwork. So it's like he could have been microdosing and cycling off of it. Exactly. That's honestly, I think that's what he was doing. I would think he uses out of competition. And then during competition, he probably does the microdosing thing because it's just like, at what point do we, like, we don't know. Like, when they're out of competition, they're not being tested unless they have like 365 testing, there's no way to know. I think microdosing, it would have showed up in the other tests. Maybe, maybe not, because we don't know what his juicing like protocol is. Maybe he took more. Maybe he got his dosing wrong. Maybe he got obviously got the timing wrong. And then why was he taking the IVs? We saw him getting the IV. We can't ignore it. Like, it's a mess. Oh, let's continue though. It says in the letter to the commission, English pointed out that in obtaining New York boxing license, both fighters represented in writing that they had reviewed commission rules on drug use and were not using any prohibited substances. At no time did Devin Haney consent to engage in a bout against a boxer who was positive for performance-enhancing drugs and would not have proceeded with the fight had he known, English wrote. The New York State Athletic Commission would not have permitted the bout had it known of the positive finding. And that's my thing. There needs to be a way for them to test with more accuracy. Like, so those simple, these are not simple tests. Like, you can just put urine on a stick and find out if you're pregnant, or like a simple weed test, or even like a simple cocaine test that like they do for like employment reasons, right? So they're testing for all these substances. So it does take time. So in what ways could they test and come up with like a level of accuracy so when they step in the ring, they're either clean or dirty and they cancel the fight? You know what I'm saying? So I've never done a blood test. They only do urine. I've always done urine. I never pop positive, so I don't know if there's an additional like blood test that they do if you come up dirty. I don't know. I only tested clean because I'm a perfect patty. So you have to so the observer has to see you pee into the cup, because apparently there's like devices that you can use. So if their view of the urine going into the cup or out of your body into the cup is obstructed, then obviously like some are like super stringent, where they'll make you pull up your shirt all the way so they can like absolutely see. Some of them will just let you hold the cup there, like, and they'll just be like looking in their peripheral, but not really looking because they don't want to be there. Like, you don't want to be there. Some of them are like all up in your coochie, like they got to see it go right into the cup. They got to hear the sound going into, like, it's ridiculous. It just really depends. But I've never taken a blood test, but yeah, you do have to. Well, obviously, you have to pull down your pants because how are you going to get the pee into the cup? All right, let's keep going here. Where did I finish? Representative for Mr. Garcia have publicly suggested that the offspring was found in trace amounts. Yeah, because it got out of your system. English wrote that while there are a couple of commissions in the United States that permit traces amount of offspring, and New York, WADA, and VADA are not among them. The samples produced by Garcia had quantities between 35 to 60 times the amount considered in those jurisdictions to be trace amounts. So he was way over trace amounts. Way over trace amounts. And so Iceman, there you have to be like voluntold to do it. Like some people actually volunteer to do it, but you have pretty much you're just picked to do it so you can get bullet points on your EPR. But you're watching the same gender. So unless you like dudes, Iceman, I'm assuming you're a man because your name is Iceman. You're gonna be watching the dudes, like, like I don't know. How did trace amounts get in there in the first place? From doping. That's how they get in there. English also addressed Garcia's failure to make weight. At the time, he publicly stated that he tried to make weight, but was unable to do so. The letter said, in reliance upon that representation, Devin Haney entered into a contract revision where, for consideration, he allowed Garcia to come into the bout overweight. And that was the first mistake. Well, that was pretty much their only mistake outside of the game plan. They should have. Okay, so you made 143. You can't be over 147 on fight night. Well, actually, let me take that back. If you made 143, you didn't cut weight. So you got to be 143 on fight night. That's what they should have said, but they didn't. So it is what it is. Where did I leave? Okay, multiple sources have said Garcia contractually agreed to pay Haney $600,000 for being overweight. Garcia also had publicly stated prior to the weigh-in that he would pay Haney $500,000 per pound if he was overweight. After the bout, Garcia publicly stated that he lied and he was overweight in order to get a competitive advantage over Haney. The letter said, had Garcia not lied about his purpose, Haney would not have proceeded with the bout against him and or would have taken steps to protect himself. What steps could he have taken to protect himself? How much did he rehab? New York doesn't do like same day weigh-ins, so we don't know what weights they were. And then even if Haney was 165, right? He drained weight. He cut weight. So he was drained all the way down. He did not have anything in his, probably like zero. Like his blood was probably almost slush. Like you guys know how bad he looked. He was looking, it wasn't as bad as we saw him at the Cambosos fight, but you could tell he was very drained, right? So Ryan didn't do that. So that's you don't have to rehydrate if you don't try to make weight. So that's an advantage, and that's what he wanted to do, and he was successful. English also pointed to a widely circulated video of Garcia taking IV fluids in the lead up to the fight. The use of IVs is prohibited by WADA and BADA requirements without a therapeutic use exemption and is expressly prohibited under the New York State Athletic Commission guidelines. English wrote, upon information and belief, no therapeutic exemption was granted by the New York Athletic Commission, and use was not disclosed on disclosures given to drug samplers. Oh, ooh, that stinks. I mean, how can you put on 25 plus pounds in 36 hours? That, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And then the thing is, we need to know when the actual weigh-in was, because they have like the ceremonial weigh-ins. Because obviously those weigh-ins were fake, right? Because you're up there in your sneakers and your sweatpants. So when was the actual weigh-in? Because it could have been more than 36 hours. It could have been a couple of days. And then we just saw the ceremonial weigh-in, and that was 36 hours before the fight. So Ryan obviously doesn't have a good team because he's pop positive. So even if they're giving him the drugs, they're not like well versed in cheating. So whoever gave him the substances, I don't know, maybe he got them himself. His team is stupid because nobody's really like following them around, seeing what they can do, what they can't do. Like nobody's like policing them. They're free citizens. They can do what they want. Whether it's right or not, that's a different story, but they can do what they want. What's true, Iceman? He did say that. Because he knew. Well, he knew the whole time that he was planning to cheat. Ryan knew all along that he was cheating. And I believe he was taking the substances because he tweeted back in February, like his results. And it seemed to me like he was surprised that he like even passed the test in February. So I don't think he was expecting to pop on this one because he had been cheating and he was probably masking it, or maybe it just wasn't in his system. I'm not sure. Honestly, we don't know. Like, unless he actually tells the truth, we won't know. And Wood, what's up, Wood? Thank you for coming. That company, if I were them, I would sue him because that's slander. That is slander. I would be hitting him with a lawsuit or a cease and desist or something. You got to retract your statement, something, because that's probably like the most publicity they've had. So it's probably not going to hurt their business. But don't be talking mess about my company, and good and well that there was no ostarine. Like they were like, we only make this, just only this. There's no cross contamination in our system. He should see some legal repercussion because of that. Where did I leave off? Okay. English included a link to a video of showing Ryan Garcia receiving an IV of fluid with a yellowish tinge. IVs are often used as a masking agent to avoid positive tests by diluting the body's urine. So who asked that earlier? Why would the IVs? Let me find that comment. Can't find it. But that's your answer, guys. He was trying to flush it out of his system. And that's probably why he tweeted that, like, his negative results in February. Because, like, I felt like it was kind of like a subliminal, it's like a subconscious, like, admission of guilt. Because why, if you know you're not cheating, what would be the point of even tweeting that? Because, like, for me, if I took a test right now, I know it would not be positive for crack. I know that. Like, I know that because I know I haven't done that. If you know you have not been cheating, the results of the test should not be a surprise. Like, you should not be surprised by that at all. All right, let's continue. Adding insult to the commission and to the sport of boxing, Mr. Garcia has alleged that he was high as F during his bout with Mr. Haney. The letter said, this very clearly brings disrepute on the sport of boxing and the derivation of the New York State Athletic Commission. Then English summed up Haney's case for Garcia being disqualified. Ostarine is specifically listed as a prohibited performance-enhancing drug on the commission website, he wrote. An IV is expressly prohibited. Intentionally coming in overweight is a violation. All good points. In this context, the commission has full authority to issue a disqualification. That would change the bout to a win for Mr. Haney by disqualification. On behalf of Mr. Haney, we request that the change, in addition to such suspension, is deemed appropriate by the commission. He's not going to get suspended. Or if he does, it's going to be so limited that you need to knock it off, Iceman. He's not, see, unless they withhold his entire purse or give him a suspension that's going to affect his money down the line. This, like, the system is so flawed that if you're popular and you bring in money, nothing's going to happen to you. Literally, nothing's going to happen to him. All they can do is hope that he like just doesn't cheat on his own. Like that. It's just silly. It's so silly. What did I want to do here? But it's I'm still on the fence about whether he should like attempt like legal action. Like, on one hand, if it were me, I would, but I feel like the benefit that he can get from having that O and like working to rebuild, I feel like that would be more beneficial to his career in the long run. It should be a minimum of 18 months. Otherwise, it doesn't really impact the regular schedule. I think it should be a minimum of like 2-3 years. 2-3 years. Like, let them feel it. Because, like, even 18 months, that's not, I mean, some fighters only fight once a year. So, like, what's another 6 months if it were just 18 months? I think it should be like years. It should be something that's gonna either they take their purse from the fight that they tested on, or they hurt their pockets down the line. Because that's the only thing. They don't care that they cheat. Like, I don't even think they think that they cheated, because how could you take an IV, pop for 2 different substances? So they subtracted it. They said they tested further. So maybe, just maybe, that it came from his system. I don't know. I'm not a chemist. But honestly, if you take one thing, you'll take another. Honestly, it 100% they have to take his money. That's the only thing they like. Either hold the purse from, well, they probably already paid him. So, I mean, they can't take it back now. Either hold the purse or affect their money down the line. A 3.5 year ban. I don't even think that would affect him because, like, he does his modeling thing on the side. So he's rich. How would that affect him? Good evening, Gary. Why would they ban Devin Haney? Like, he didn't do anything. He did nothing. But like, what? So that's the thing. Is that a criminal act? Because they were fighting. Like, it's not like they're playing tennis and then he's on PEDs and the PEDs give him roid rage and then he goes and cracks the other player's skull with his tennis racket. Like, they were fighting anyway. So is it a criminal act? Like, even though he shouldn't have been on the drugs, like, I don't see that as criminal. I just feel like, yes, it's wrong. I'm not saying it's not wrong, but as far as a criminal act, all he did was break the New York Athletic Commission, like, VADA rules. VADA rules aren't law. Like, there's nothing, I mean, well, outside of Ostarine being not sold anywhere, there's nothing preventing any of us from, like, going and getting the drug and taking it. I mean, back in the day, being hit by Mike Tyson clean could be attempted murder. So I'm not sure. Neat. He fucked with some people's money. Like, I don't really gamble, so I don't really know. So I haven't seen it before. They were like having to pay people back for betting on him, like after the loss. But you know what? Even we get robbed on a lot of pay-per-views. Like the Canelo pay-per-view. The only good fight on that whole card was the Canelo fight. Like, wasn't that a robbery? Wasn't that a robbery? And Neek, is it actually criminal? Because, like, taking that, like, say you're just taking Nandrolone. Like, what? Maybe we need like an attorney to explain like what's like the criminal aspect of it, because if they're going and they're punching each other, they're still gonna punch each other whether they're clean or not. So and then the only thing is that card, like, actually that whole card was good. So you can't really say you got robbed out of the pay-per-view because there were other good cards. There were other like good fights on the card. Canelo, and I love Canelo. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on him by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. But his undercards be trash. And that is because his purses are too high. So they have to like skip on the budget on the undercard. Like, you can't have anybody that they gotta like really shell out any money for because they have to pay Canelo so much. So it's like the undercards always gonna be trash. Like, those pay-per-views, those need to be the $39.99. Like, you just gotta get it how you live, Canelo. You ain't gonna get no back end. Because it's just like the only good fight on the whole card is yours. You shouldn't charge me for the rest, like honestly. But let's get into something else. Let me share my screen. Beat. So it didn't disappear. I don't know the specifics of it, but we read over it earlier. Let me see what it said about the nandrolone. Chop, chop, chop. Where did I see that? Okay, so it says in addition to ostarine being present in Garcia's April 19th and 20th urine samples, Garcia sample on the 19th also screened positive but was not confirmed for nandrolone pending IRMS isotope ratio mass spectrometry. Okay, so let's see what this IRMS machine actually does. All right, so it says isotope ratio mass spectrometry, IRMS leverages magnetic sector mass spectrometry to enable high precision measurements of the stable isotope content of a sample. Typical measurements target hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen analysis, although elements with masses up to and including sulfur can be measured. So, what does it do? Okay, what are the advantages? It can be used to detect isotope values of lighter elements with no issues, making it instrumental in the analysis of organic or natural samples. So maybe what I'm thinking, because nandrolone is already in your body, maybe it was higher than it's normally supposed to be, kind of like what happened with Baturbia. And then when they use that IRMS, they determined it to be natural. Maybe, I don't know. But it didn't disappear, like, because it's still on the one. As far as I'm concerned, didn't disappear. And honestly, I think he was probably taking something. But let's get over to this messy diva named Shakur Stevenson. Apparently he accused Top Rank of being racist. Can anybody is this his first contract or his second? I'm not sure. But he got into it with Ishay Smith on Twitter. And let me show you guys this. I'm pretty sure some of you have already seen it. Oh, let me present it. So whatever Shakur initially said was deleted. And I think that it was him saying that Tom Park was racist. But in reply to that, Ishay Smith says this: I don't think they're racist. They don't know how to promote Black fighters' facts. You can't use someone else's experiences as your own. I do believe the old Top Rank was this way. They now have a shitload of black fighters. I hope you get all the fighters you deserve, one of the best in the game. To which Shakur responds, did I go back too much? Oh, shit. Oh, damn. I went back too much. Sorry. Somebody tell me how to look at the quotes, because he quoted him. On I never look at Twitter actually on laptop. So I don't freaking know. All right, let's just do this. Shakira Tweederson. My only problem with him is he tweets too fucking much. He tweets way too much. But he ripped him a new asshole. Okay, here's the reply. He said, here go a nigga jumping in some shit he know nothing about. Shut your ass. You was the worst fighter I ever seen in my life. And Floyd put you in position. You got a world title. And you got the nerve to talk bad about Floyd. Mind your effing business. I hear that. And then he goes and say, I came to you with respect. You run your mouth better than you fuck. Didn't I just say he tweets too much? Didn't I just say he tweets too much? Didn't I just say that? I don't know if I'm watching boxing or N-word Dancing with the Stars. Oh my Jesus. You got to learn everything. Everyone ain't your enemy. And if you were just as good on Twitter as you were in the ring, you wouldn't be begging. And the bad thing about it is both of them are right. Both of them are right. Why don't you take some of the money you're making and run, you crybaby bitch? Okay, first of all, I have a gap, and I think it's sexy. So slow your fucking roll right there. Holy hell. Is the tweet where he put all those like tomato can emoji. He called him a cab driver. He was going off on him. Where I think they might be in the replies. Let's look. He went off on him. The bad thing about it is both of them are right. Both of them are extremely right. Well, the thing is, and it's like Twitter, if you may not be looking for a response on Twitter and people will reply. And I feel like if you don't want people to reply or you aren't ready to take anything negative, don't tweet it. But Shakur don't know nothing about not tweeting it. So he's gonna always tweet it every time. let's find, where's the tomato cans? Because he was calling him a cab driver. I was sick. I have I have a few, quite a few criticisms of Shakur in and out the ring. But he's an Olympian. You guys know how I feel about the Olympians. And I'm not going to do it to him. So it just is what it is. See, the thing is, if you don't want people to respond, because it's not just on Twitter that they will respond based. Like people will make videos about it. Like it's gonna get into the ethos if you put it out there. Like you can't control you can put it out there, but you don't know how people are gonna react to it. You can't always control that. So I just feel like you gotta not say it at all. You gotta like not say anything at all. And with that, um, what time is it? 2:03. So I'm already past my time, but I'm gonna put the link out. And if anybody wants to chat for 10 minutes, we can do 10 minutes. I will extend the thing to you guys. Let me see here. Let me share this. All right, you guys got your 2:05 to click the link. Oh, I'll watch your. I'm gonna watch on the way to work. Base. All right, so nobody wants to come on. So we are going to. Black is my favorite color, and I feel like it shouldn't be. It should be something else, but it is this. Thank you, my dear. And with that, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna do a stream tomorrow. Also, Thursday, I got a surprise for you guys. And you already can put two and two together and you know what it is. But I will see you guys later. Stay safe, stay dangerous, and stay messy, guys. Bye.